Our CES 2019 coverage is made possible by SuperO, Republic of Gamers, Arosi, EK, and Patriot. Hey everyone, I'm Andy Raffel from eTeknix.com. Now at CES 2019, there was a lot of chassis being released and announced based around the EEB form factor. This included support for the new Asus Dominus board that looks, well, fantastic. This included Phanteks, who had their new Enthoo LUXE2. So essentially what we have here, like I said, is a chassis that is a full tower supporting EEB form factor. That's the new 14 by 14 inch motherboards. Now this chassis also has room for dual socket motherboards if you wanted to go down that route. Now it also has room for dual systems. Now with this chassis, when it actually started to sort of go into development, it had a big focus on the internals. It's kind of a mixture of the Elite and the Primo. So starting with the front of the case, of course being 2019, it does have addressable RGB that runs all the way down one side and round to the bottom. It also has a tempered glass window specifically for looking at your SSDs, so you can actually fit 3 SSDs in here, and it's a nice little panel to have among that aluminium side panel that's on the right hand side. On the left hand side we do have a full tempered glass hinged window. There's also what they call performance fabric. Now, this was something that we actually saw at Computex and something that they were trying to get feedback on different materials to use. Now, what they claim with this performance fabric is that it lets through maximum airflow whilst also acting as a dust filter. So you can simply vacuum it off with ease, but it doesn't hinder any of your performance. With the performance fabric, obviously it does add ventilation, and there is plenty of other ventilation on the chassis as well, from below and also from the side, which we will talk about in a little bit. On the inside, like I said, there is support for dual systems, but if you don't want to go down that route, there's enough room for 8 PCI Express expansion slots for even the most extreme of systems, dual power supplies, modular storage, and much, much more. It has a very large power supply shroud that actually curves round the chassis on the inside, and it looks, well, pretty unique and very, very nice to look at. Along this PSU shroud there is addressable RGB, so this is the first time that Phanteks has actually taken RGB and put it onto the inside of the case itself, and it does look very, very nice. It's actually quite subtle in the grand scheme of things. If you don't want to use the 8 expansion slots, you can have a vertical GPU because it does have the expansion slots for that. And if you were to use a vertical GPU mount, you can actually have a mini ITX system situated just behind it for that dual system look. Obviously it would be ATX at the top and mini ITX at the bottom. In terms of fans, there is 1 at the back and 4 at the front, but you can obviously fit quite a lot more in there, and there's quite a lot of room for custom loop water cooling as well. In terms of custom loop water cooling, there is support for 2 480mm rads at once, 1 at the front and 1 at the side, while there is room for 2 360mm radiators, 1 at the top and 1 at the bottom. The other key features of this chassis is that you can actually take your power supply and have it vertically mounted, which firstly assists with airflow and secondly gives you that extra room if you are using dual systems. There is plenty of room for cable management, especially if you're using slightly smaller form factor power supplies. Obviously, if you're then using an EEB form factor, you may be a little bit restricted, but not by too much. If you are using this chassis in a dual system configuration, this is where Phanteks really do shine because they have their Revolt X series power supplies, which means that you can power 2 systems from 1 single power supply. Availability wise, we are looking at around a Q2 release date and pricing $189, which based on some of the other chassis that we've seen as of late is actually quite affordable considering what you get on offer. It's actually slightly cheaper than the Evolve X purely because of some of the different materials that they've decided to use on this chassis. Let us know in the comments section below what you think of this, or is there any other chassis you'd rather have for that EEB form factor or dual system? Obviously you've got the Corsair Obsidian 1000D, you've got InWind's new 928 chassis, and many more that are being released in the next few months. Other than that, remember to check out the rest of our CES 2019 coverage, and I will see you in the next video. See you later. Bye bye.